Good morning, everybody. I toast to you and all you do. I hope you're having a fantastic morning. Make sure my microphone is where it's supposed to be. Oh, there we go. Okay, can you hear me? Hopefully you can hear me. I got a new microphone setup kind of going on, so hopefully this works better. And you can hear me better, and I don't sound so far away and quiet, which is really funny. I had a friend tell me in real life, she said, I've been watching your videos and you're so quiet. You're like the loudest person I know. How is that possible? And then I had somebody else comment in a video, like, I still can't hear you. So hopefully you can hear me better now. And I will be getting a more permanent setup, I promise, to better record the sound of my voice, which again is just so ironic because if you met me in real life, you're like, dang, you're one of the loudest people I know. So hopefully, anyways, we are here today to talk about the dark moon that is coming up on July 17th. And it happens at 11:30. Let's see, I have it written down here. 11:35 Pacific Standard Time. And let's just not get too caught up on the timing, okay? So the dark moon is happening tomorrow. If you want to celebrate it tonight, fantastic. You want to celebrate it the 17th evening, that's awesome. What's important is that you just take time to sit and reflect with this energy. I imagine that a lot of people are feeling this energy because it is kind of disruptive in that it's like throwing stuff in your face, I feel like, at least for me personally. And if you take a look at the chart, you can kind of see what I'm talking about. There is a lot going on. We've got a lot of squares. We've got an amazing grand T cross, grand T square cross. Anyways, we'll get into that. But we have a lot going on, just so much going on, and it is kind of overwhelming. So I want to start off and let's just talk about specifically the Cancer moon. And the Cancer moon, especially the dark Cancer moon, is a reminder of the eternal source of divine love that is always available. The energy of Cancer is this fluid, homey, beautiful, loving energy that is always with you. And we make fun of people who are of the Cancer sun sign because they always have to have a bag with them with all of their stuff. They like to be at home. They want to bring their home with them. They're very homey people. And it's that same kind of energy that we get when the moon is in Cancer. It's just this beautiful, loving energy. It is a reminder that the darkness is not a scary place. It is not doom and gloom, but it is the dark womb in which every light sparks from. It is where everything is born from. It is a warm yet strong embrace from the great Mother Goddess. And that energy in itself is like a loving cocoon. And so as we step through the rest of these energies and questions that these energies are going to bring up, just keep that loving cocoon with you because it's always there. And, we can sit with this love when we navigate through these hard aspects and this deep questions, and it will help you to feel secure, help you to know that you are supported and loved, and no matter what dark space or scary corner you're in, there is always so the funniest song pop in my head. There's always something there to remind you. Anyways, that is the energy of this moon. So as we go through the rest of these transitions, just know that that energy is present. So let's talk about our Grand T square. This is a big energy. It is the sun and moon at opposition to Pluto retrograde, both squared to the north and south node. And the north node is conjunct to Eris and Cryon, and the south node is conjunct to Homer, bringing in even more aspects to this T square. There's just so this is really a great shakeup. We talked about this before, where because the North and South Node are in retrograde, it is that moment that like shakes the table of your foundation to see what's going to stick. And being square to Pluto, especially Pluto retrograde, re-entering into Capricorn, brings in this like wash of let's it's like a clean wash comes through and just removes any gray area and really brings the truth to light. And with the North Node being conjunct to Eris and Chiron, it heightens this truthfulness, this search for justice, this search for like deep truths that bring big changes and healing. So as we are looking at this, it is really going to challenge your authority. It's going to challenge your goals. It's going to help you to heal long-term wounds through that, though. So as we ask ourselves, where do I give my authority? Or who do I give my, like, where is my authority placed? Is your authority placed in your own internal self, or do you put that in somebody else? Are you following the mob mentality? Are you listening to some external source? Or is your truth coming from yourself? Are you really hearing and seeing in reality and knowing this truth? Eris will not let you close your eyes and put on your blinders and look the other way when there is a problem, especially when it has to do with yourself. Eris very much is like that mirror in your face that's like, hey, look, here it is. Here is the injustice. Here is the problem. Here is where you are not doing the right thing. And now do the right thing. And with it's about to go into retrograde, and it's going to be in retrograde conjunct to the North Node in retrograde. So all together, they're like really shaking this foundation, and they are shaking loose any facades or blinders or like imaginary things that you've created to protect yourself. And have patience with yourself as these things are revealed. We often put up blinders or coping mechanisms that we don't even realize we're putting up, and we're putting them up in order to protect ourselves. So often we are reminded to go back to that place where those blinders came from, where that trauma happened, where that started, and Chiron was there to help you heal through that and to help you learn the lessons that you need to learn. And Eris is going to tell you, hey, you need to see this and really accept responsibility for your own feelings and how you're feeling now. It is so easy to say somebody else made me feel this way, somebody else did something to me that makes me act this way, and put that blame on somebody else. Now, at no point as a victim should you ever assume responsibility for your victimhood. You're being a victim. You didn't do anything to be put there. You just have to now suffer with the consequences of that action. And if you sit in those consequences and you're constantly trying to say, well, I feel this way because of somebody else, you're not accepting responsibility for your own feelings. And Chiron and Eris will hold your hand and show you the truth and say, hey, yes, these bad things happened to you. Here is the lesson that you need to learn from it. Now accept responsibility for your own feelings and how do you want to feel? I don't think anybody really wants to feel depressed or sad or scared or anxious or any of these overwhelming negative emotions. Those emotions are there in order to help us survive. Well, you have survived, and now it's time to move forward. And how do you want to feel now? And so this T square between all of these is really bringing that up. It is really saying, like, shake up that foundation. Let go of these things that are not serving you. Don't keep them in your future foundation. If you have this coping mechanism, I'll use myself as an example in my fear of abandonment. I have to, at some point, accept that not all people are going to abandon me. And as long as I continue to think everyone's going to abandon me, I put that energy out into the world, and that is what comes back to me. But as I learn to let that go and move forward and see the trust and faith in these new relationships that I have that are not abandonment, I see and I can put that energy back out and I can move forward and I can heal. And that's something that's really important. And so this grand square, T square, is that reminder. The moon and sun in Cancer are just telling you it's okay, we love you, and you can do this, you can heal. Chiron and Eris are saying, here's the truth, here's what you can learn from this lesson, and here's how to heal. And the North and South Node are telling you, like, we're about to make this transition forward. You don't want to bring these things with you. Let's step forward into this new beginning healed. So let go of the things that are not serving you. You know, really think about all of the aspects of your life, all of your coping mechanisms, all of the lessons that you've learned, and how are you using that to be a better person? How are you using that to step forward on this new path in this new self? How are you healing? And so that's like it's a deep reflection moment. And it is really asking you, are you being superficial? Are you allowing external sources to be in control of your thoughts and feelings and have that power and authority over you? Or are you leading from your own heart and stepping forward in this place of nobility and faith and love and understanding and truthfulness? Where do you sit on that aspect? And in reality, we all need to move towards that, you know, self-love and truth and compassion, not only for ourselves, but for other people. And truth. If we all move forward with truth and nobility and justice, and we're like, we are doing this for the right of ourselves and for other people. I hate hearing the argument of, well, if it's good for one person, it's bad for another. There are things that are universally good. And if we stepped forward on that path to universal goodness and everyone acted from a place of this is what's best for me, myself, my family, and my neighbor, think about the world that we would create. Because everybody was stepping forward on that path and doing those things and no longer living to this authority of what we're told by our governments, what we're told by media or on the TV or, you know, social media. Those things aren't reality. I had this crazy vision yesterday of what if Twitter and Facebook and YouTube and all of these social media platforms just in an instant disappeared. And what would that do to the world? Your world would be instantly shrunk down into this smaller space of what is just next to you. And people would be forced to go out and interact with other people like face to face. You have all these people who love attention and they want lots of attention, so they're constantly posting pictures and they're looking for that positive feedback. They would have to like go out in public and talk to people in order to get that feedback. And we're really missing that in our lives, in our world. So I encourage everybody to go out and talk to somebody face to face, to let go of what we think we need because of social media or the TV or the government or whatever it is that's telling you you need this. And really think about what it is that we need as individuals to be better, to feel better, to step on the right, to like take that step forward on the right foot. So this is further heightened by a couple things. So this grand T square is not alone in its aspects. It is interacting with other things. So we have Neptune trine to the sun and moon, which is a big highlighter, like in a positive way. It's not scary like when Pluto highlights things and it like, let me pull the veil off and show you this truth. Neptune can show you the truth also. It's going to show you the truth from a higher perspective, from a lower perspective, from behind the scenes, from all the angles that you didn't think that you needed to see, but you actually do. It's going to show that to you. It's going to open up your vision to be able to see things from this divine perspective. And that can be like an altruistic view. That can be a reality check. And it can be those things all at the same time. And sometimes we need to see things from that other perspective. And so this trine can really help with that. And we have Uranus sextile to the sun and moon, which also brings in great insight. Uranus can be disruptive, but in this sextile, it's like softened. So it's not going to be complete eruption in your face, but it is going to be like a ta-ding, like that little light in the corner that's like, oh, that aha moment that is going to help you make small changes that will lead to big changes in the long run. especially in emotional insight, because of this fluid Uranus energy is very connected to our emotions. But this insight is going to lead to healing. So you are going to be able to heal and see, and that reinforces this uh, Eris conjunction with the North Node, in that Eris Cryon and healing, seeing the truth and healing from it, seeing your own emotions and how they're affecting you, and then healing from that. We also have Pluto trine to Uranus, which is like a beacon of light in the darkness, and it doesn't necessarily soften Pluto's energy, but it lightens it. It makes it a little more fluid. It helps that change. It's like a lubricant in the change, and it's helped that change slide right along. But this is going to be deep change. This isn't light superficial. I mean, we keep coming back to this. Where is your authority coming from? Is it superficial or is it internal? And this is that shift where we really need to focus on our own internal authority and knowing what. I feel like my microphone is rubbing. I hope that's not making horrible noises. All right. But it is, again, bringing about this deep change. So then we have the North Node trine to Venus, which is a harmonious energy. It just naturally brings in harmony, but it also is a reminder that your thoughts create your reality, especially when it comes to love and finances. So back to my abandonment thing. In my past, as long as I was so focused on abandonment, the people around me did abandon me because I pushed them away in order to protect myself. And the more I allow myself to be vulnerable and open up to that energy, the more I find that people aren't just gonna, I can let go of those feelings of abandonment, and I can really heal, and I can move forward and allow this change to happen. But what I'm thinking creates my reality. Same thing when it comes to your finances. If you're constantly telling yourself, I don't have enough money to do anything, then you'll never have enough money to do anything, because you'll find stupid things to spend your money on or ways to waste your money. I talk to a lot of people and they're like, I can't save money. And I'm like, well, how often do you go to Starbucks or McDonald's or the gas station or any of these things? And how much money are you spending at the grocery store versus how much money are you spending at restaurants? And are you really getting the most out of your money? So, hold on. Okay, sorry, I had to re-clip the microphone. It kept falling. So, just that reminder that the energy, the thought, all of that you put out is what's coming back to you. So as you're reflecting on all of these changes that you need to make, and you're reflecting on all of the truths that are being brought to light, your actions and your thoughts are creating your reality. So if you're just thinking about negative things, then that's what you're bringing into your life. And so then we're going to move on over to some of our conjunctions. So we have Venus conjunct to Pales and conjunct to Mars. And this, we've talked about this before, is very much like this trio of love and honor and justice and balance, and really balanced energy. And it is just trudging right along forward. It is here to motivate you. It is here to remind us to act from the heart with nobility. Venus is also conjunct right now to Regulus, which is the heart of the lion. It's a star that doesn't move very much. And it, again, is just that reminder, like if we act from the heart and we act from a place of love and compassion and nobility, we can achieve anything. And so this is a great motivating energy. It is saying, let's move forward, but let's move forward with balance. Let's move forward acting with both courage and love, and together, noble, like the knight. It just is like that knight in shining armor that comes through and is there to save the day and do the right thing. actually. It's not the White Knight, it's the Black Knight from, uh, oh, now I can't remember the name of the movie. I'm sure somebody out there remembers A Knight's Tale, where he's stuck in the gallows thing and they're throwing fruit at him, and the Black Knight comes over and he takes off his thing and he says, "This man fought me and he had nobility when other people didn't have any nobility, and he did the right thing no matter what, and now I'm going to do the right thing and I'm going to knight him because I know that this is right." And it's that energy that this trio has as it moves forward. It is both the noble warrior and the wise leader together moving forward, helping to give you that energy as you step forward to ask these questions of where is my authority? Who am I? And what am I doing? And how am I going to move forward with this? And so step forward with that courageous energy. Lead with wisdom. Know that you have all of these answers. Know that you have the support of this eternal source of love and that you can make the right choice. And to let go of some of these coping mechanisms and heal. It is really calling on you to heal, like generationally heal. We have Venus square to Uranus, which is another volatile energy, and I mean, Uranus in general, we consider a volatile energy. It isn't, Uranus's energy isn't like a slow, steady, it's like a tornado, or not a tornado, a volcano eruption. It is a hurricane. It is a great flood. And it brings that energy with us. And right now it's in Taurus, so it's very earthly, it's very grounded. And so I think more like geysers. And so being square to Uranus, it's going to bring in great surprises. Like that splash of color is going to be like, ba-da! There's that thing you didn't think. Again, like I said, reminding you, like that Pluto trine to Uranus. It's that, oh, inspiration out of the darkness, that quick splash. Hey, bam, here is some information you didn't think you needed to know, but now you know, and it's going to help you heal. It's going to help you move forward. It's going to help you let go of something that you don't need so that you can move forward. Now, that Saturn, or that Venus, Pallas, Mars conjunction is at opposition to Saturn. And when Saturn is at opposition to something, it is really calling on like social justices. It is, how are you handling yourself in relations to other people? And so in this specific conjunction at opposition to Saturn, it's really asking us, how are we handling conflict? Are we acting out of nobility, or are we acting out of insecurity? Are we allowing the mob mentality to take over, or are we acting out of our own inner authority? And it's asking you to ask that question. It says, hey, by the way, where are you giving your authority to? And are you acting from this place of nobility? Are you doing what is right and just and noble? Or are you doing what you think you need to do because somebody else told you? And that can be a really hard question, because we often want to say, no, we don't let other people have control over our feelings or our emotions, or to have that control over us to persuade us to do something. But the mob mentality is so strong. If you are, they say you are a reflection of the 5 people that you spend the most time with. If you're spending time with a group of people who have these strong beliefs that are not productive to healing our society, and then you're feeding that, you're just reflecting that back and forth, is that the energy that you want to be continuing? Are you allowing that mob mentality, the superficial aspects of life, to control your motivations? And you got to really step back, and you got to use that Neptune and Uranus energy back there with Pluto and Venus and the sun and moon and all of that going on to help you reflect on that question and really see the truth and accept that truth. And don't continue to put on your blinders and pretend like that's not happening. See it, understand it, recognize it, and then ask yourself, is this what I really want? And I saw this short, which is kind of funny because I didn't think it was very relevant, but now in this moment it seems very relevant. But she was talking about when you are surrounded by people who are doing drugs and doing bad things and not supporting themselves and not making good choices, and you decide, I'm going to do better for myself. And you kind of start to distance yourself from those people, and you go get a better job, and you get an apartment, and you get a place, and you start doing things to better yourself. Those people will come back in your life and be like, hey, you think you're better than me now? Because you are better than them, because you made that choice, and that's okay. And this opposition is that moment. It is the moment where you're like, am I allowing these superficial mob mentality ideas to make my life choices? Or am I stepping back? Am I looking for my own inner authority? And am I acting from this place of wisdom and balance and courage and nobility and wisdom and making the right choice? And so ask yourself that. And if when you begin to ask yourself that, you start thinking of all of these things that are like, oh, well, this person really encouraged me to get fired from this last job by ditching work, or this person always brings a 12-pack to my house, or that person is always doing this, or this person is always negative and all they got to do is say something negative all the time. Are these the energies that you want around you? Is this who you want to be? Can you make changes in your life to be that better person? Uh, which uh, which is a big question. Sorry, Venus goes retrograde on the 22nd, so it happens pretty quickly after all of this. And Venus is very involved in all of the things that we've just been talking about. And when Venus goes into retrograde, it is really asking you to reassess your situation, both in love and community and in finances. And as you begin to reassess that, like, that's why I said this is a really reflective time. This is a really dark moment where you can sit in this dark, beautiful place of love and heal, regenerate, remake who it is that you are so that you can step forward healed and as a better person. And no, it's not going to happen in an instant, but it is, you can begin to make those changes. Small changes now can lead to big success later. What things are you holding on to that you don't need to hold on to? What are you focused on? Where are you putting your energy? What are you doing in order to create your reality? All of that comes back to this. And then we have a very interesting aspect going on. I went over it in blue, but if you can see this big triangle right here, this is called a finger of fate. And a finger of fate is a this is a grand energy that really it is telling you, in order to achieve your fate, you must focus on this. And right now we have Pluto quincunx to Venus and Neptune quincunx to Venus, and Pluto and Neptune are sextile, and that's what creates this finger of fate. So Pluto and Neptune are both pointing at Venus. So Pluto quincunx to Venus is this passionate emotions that bring on fundamental change, especially in our finances and our relationships, which is like the basis of our life. I think sometimes we get caught on this thought that, oh, it's all love and money. But love and money are like a big part of who we are and what, like, our reality. And so this is, Pluto really is bringing up these passionate energies. Now, Neptune quincunx to Venus brings out these beautiful creative energies, this connection to the divine source, this, again, unconditional source of love. And so it's a lot of emotions coming up to the surface. And then we have Pluto sextile to Pluto, Neptune sextile to Pluto, which is like an explorative spiritual energy. It's like dive deeper into your own spirituality, find deeper meaning and a higher perspective simultaneously. That's these two energies coming together like that. It is Pluto's deep wisdom and Neptune's higher view, like being able to see things from that higher perspective coming together and bringing in this great balance. Again, it's this opposite balance that we're talking about with the full moon, where we had a lot of balancing opposite energies, and this is very much that between Neptune and Pluto. And so altogether, this can be a powerful, passionate, emotional release, allowing for the divine love to flow through you and connecting you to your deeper self and your higher self simultaneously. And so this finger of fate is really pointing to you finding your own center and being able to both experience things from this deep, passionate level, but also see them from this divine perspective. And that is a great place to sit in. That is a beautiful place to be. That is like the moment that a new child is born. Just that raw, passionate, beautiful, divine energy, and it is like here for you, like a beacon of light. Like through all of these questions and turmoils, like this is some heavy hitting healing that you are being asked to do. But you are reminded through this Cancer dark moon, but also this finger of fate, that these deep, passionate energies can be carried on with the love of the divine, and that you have this is there, it's in you. And we all have the divine energy inside us. We are all connected to the collective conscience. We all have this ability to like tap into it. And all you have to do is a little tap and feel that strong energy. And so as you're reflecting and you're thinking and you're pondering and you're really shaking the foundation of who you are and who you think you are and what you want to achieve, this is just, again, a warm embrace. It's like, you can do this. It is okay. The energies are here for you. And it's this healing is happening. The healing is happening. You just have to let it heal and be able to move forward and to be able to heal from that and take responsibility for your own emotions and your own being. And then who is it that you want to be? Like, how do you want to feel? And then do that, regardless of all of the external pressures or sources or blame or whatever is holding you back from taking that responsibility. But how do you want to feel? And then go do that. And own that. Like, I want to feel happy all the time. So what do I need to do in order to feel happy all the time? Well, this is what I need to do. I need to spend at least 10 minutes in my garden every day. I need to spend at least an hour learning every day, even if it's passive, whatever, however you need to do that, find those things and do it, because you can do it. And stop letting external sources come in and tell you you can't, or you should do it different, or you should do it the way they think. Just because somebody else has a different way of doing things doesn't mean that their way is better, or your way is worse, or your way is better and theirs is worse. We are all unique individuals. We will all come to the end in our own way, and that's okay. Those difference and experiences is what makes us a beautiful, amazing community, culture, society, collective conscience. Helps us all come together and learn from each other. It's beautiful. Let those things happen. Um, and this finger of fate is that. It is that there is beauty in all things. And the divine is here for you. All right. So then, a couple side things that aren't, I guess Mars. Mars is trine to Jupiter, and that's in that conjunction that we've been talking a lot about. And this is a bold action, ambitious energy that is determination and willpower and go and drive and move forward in it. This expanding, bold, courageous energy. Peleus is right there, so it balances out it with this wisdom and nobility and like moving forward as a wise leader. So again, this is that noble knight who is like Joan of Arc, or the Black Prince from that movie, Black Knight from that movie, that just is like, this is the right thing to do. And we have to follow our heart's desires, and we have to do the right thing. And Jupiter expands that energy, and it is just really pushing on this courage, like, do the right thing. Do the right thing by yourself, do the right thing by other people. I just watched the most horrible video of these two homeless people were fighting, and then the one of them pulled out a gun and shot the other one, and somebody was just standing there recording this the entire time. Like, it's a cell phone video. And all I could think in my brain is, one, you could have saved that guy's life by calling the police and saying, hey, I'm calling 911, you better get the fuck out of here. I'm sorry, excuse my language. But, you know, and that could have saved someone's life. But instead, you stood there as a passive, like, oh, I'm just going to watch this. And that's horrible. There was another one, and we're talking about some guy he's like, this is what a dead person looks like, and he had found a dead person, and he took a picture with it before he called 911 to say, hey, there's this person here. Because he wanted to be famous, he wanted to post that, he wanted to, no. We cannot act from this place of, oh, this is cool, and other people are going to tell me how cool this is, I'm going to get so many likes on this, when it goes against doing what is right. Too many times people stand by and see horrible things happening. You can hear through the wall your neighbors are screaming at each other and somebody is getting beat up, and you don't call the police. Like, I know that there's this big stigma against calling the police and, oh, they're bad, and blah, but they're also there to protect us. And if we just stand by and let bad things happen, they're going to continue to happen. If we just stand by and allow our politicians around the world to continue to do the things that are now in our face, like, it's not whispers behind the curtain or in the Esquire magazine you see. No, this is like in your face. Drugs in the White House, in your face. Politicians lying. You see this Trudeau from Canada, a year ago saying one thing, and now he's saying, I never said that. And you can play the two clips right after each other. Like, this is crazy to me. There needs to be accountability. And that's another thing, that all of this energy with Iris and Pele's and Cryon calling out, like, hey, accountability, justice, righteousness, let's do the right thing. We can't heal if we continue to close our eyes and look the other way and pretend like these bad things aren't happening. Especially people who were victims. If you are a victim of these crimes or these bad things or abuses or whatever it is, and then now you just look the other way and you don't say anything when you see it or hear it, you know. Like, I walk down the street with my kids and we see a drug addict. And I come from a world where a lot of people did drugs around me. And I can very much spot these people. And then I will point them out to my children. I say, drugs are bad. And we point at them and we talk about them, and this is not okay. This is not an okay thing in our society. You see people sleeping on the side of the street, baking in the sun, or whatever it may be, but they don't get picked up, they don't get help. If we just let them be there, they're not getting the help that they need. Like, this blows my mind. Like, oh, let's just decriminalize everything and allow it to be okay for these people to be suffering. No, it is not okay for people to suffer. And decriminalizing or looking the other way or just allowing it, oh, here, I'll give you some of my change, or I'll give you a granola bar, I'll donate to the Red Cross and make sure they're feeding you. That's not fixing the situation. If you give a man a fish, he will starve. If you teach a man to fish, he will feed himself forever. These are things, these are life lessons. These are important things. And we need to be teaching more people how to fish. We need to be putting out a helping hand to help our neighbors, to help other people, to all be doing the right thing. We have to stop looking the other way when bad things are happening. And this dark moon is like a reality check. It is this is what's happening. You see it. Now, what are you going to do about it? And how are you going to step forward? And, this is true of your interaction with the world, but it's also true with your interaction with yourself. As you step forward and you do things in life, what foot are you putting forward? Why are you making these choices? What are you doing? And so the last aspect is Mercury is square to Jupiter, which is a balance between theory and practice. It is actions speak louder than words. So it is like a swift kick in the butt to all of these things we've been thinking about, and all of the things you need to heal, all of the things that you need to let go of, all of these things you keep telling yourself, well, I'm going to work on that, or I'm going to fix that, I'm going to do that later, oh, that's on my list. No, your actions speak louder. Do it. Just get her done. Like, there's nothing holding you back but yourself. So get her done. Like, this is that push. Both this Mars and Jupiter and Mercury and Jupiter. There's like, push you forward. Let's motivate you. So there's some important things that has come up throughout this whole thing. And this being a very reflective moon, it is time for you to sit down and ask yourself some questions. And here are some of the ones that I would recommend. What motivates me? What am I motivated by? What is motivating me to do these things? And so you sit back and think about all the aspects of your life and what is motivating you to do these things. And really ponder that. Just think about it. Reflect on that. Another one is, who do I give my authority to? Am I giving my authority to somebody else? Am I giving my authority to the mob mentality, to social media, to the news, to my president, to the community, to wherever? Where are you giving your authority? Because that's a big responsibility. You know, if you're handing your authority over to another person, they got a lot of responsibility for you. And are they really doing that? Or do they really have your best interest at heart? And just in that statement, the only person who has your best interest is you. I mean, I even tell my kids this all the time. You are the only person who is going to hold your best interest all the time. So you need to value that. Are you doing what is best for you? Are you allowing other people to have that authority over you? Why? Because they don't have your best interest at heart. I mean, my goal is to help people heal, is to help people do the right thing, is to, be a righteous person that helps and does the right thing. But there are moments when push comes to shove where if it was me or mine against you and yours, me and mine will always, because I'm the only person who will put that first. And if we are all acting out of a place of what is best for me, mine, and my neighbor, think about the things that we would achieve. And not in a selfish way, because when you're acting in a selfish way, that's not best for me and mine and my neighbor. That's the best for me. And you're not taking in that full circle. So, who are you giving your authority to and why? How do my actions align with my thoughts and values and words and all of those things? We say one thing and we do another. We say, oh, it's important to protect our children, but when we see a child being abused, we look the other way. What is it that you are going to do in that situation? And your actions definitely speak louder than your words. So what actions are you taking as you think through all of these things, as you analyze all these things? Oh, I have this coping mechanism. Oh, this makes me anxious. Oh, this makes me stressed out. Oh, I'm depressed because of this. Total sidetrack. I just watched the most interesting interview, and the gentleman said he doesn't believe in depression because if you give power to something, it takes you over. And depression is not a state of being, but a feeling. And when you have that feeling of discomfort, it is just a motivation to make change. And what a powerful statement. I had to listen to it several times. Like, I'm paraphrasing, kind of break it down. But it was an amazing, I was just like, wow, I don't want to believe in depression anymore either. I don't think that it should be a state of being. I am depressed. No, I feel depressed. And what am I going to do to make those changes? And that in itself is such a powerful statement. And I know so many people who are living in their life, like in their life, they're like, I am depressed. I am depressed. I am depressed. I have all of these things to be depressed about. I am just depressed. And it's funny because the example that the person used, he said, this person came to me and they said, I am depressed. I have no girlfriend and I'm fat and I don't have what I want, blah, blah, blah. And he says, no, you're depressed because you have no girlfriend and you're fat. If you went out and got healthy and took care of yourself and made these changes, you wouldn't be depressed anymore. And so think about this cause and effect. Where are you giving your authority to? Where are you giving your power to? And if you are consumed with these things, it's like, I am a person with anxiety. I am a depressed person. I am this whatever. You are giving that power to those things. And in order to take that power back, you have to change your mindset. You have to change the way you think. So instead of saying, I am depressed, you say, I feel depressed. And what am I going to do to change those feelings? Because I am the only person in control of the way that I feel. Period. Whew, that is a strong statement. Take that in. Really think about that. Really. How are you feeling? Who is in control of that? You are. So make those changes. How do I allow others to have authority over me? Are you told, oh, you should do it like this, and then you feel like you should do it that way? Do you see all of the people on the internet and they are all saying this one thing, so that must be true? And that's never the truth. What are my values and why? Like, what do you value and why? What injustices do I carry on? Now, we talked about this a lot in the whole look the other way, or am I doing something about it? If you look the other way, you're allowing that injustice to carry on. If you don't stand up and do the right thing and say the right thing and say, hey, that's wrong, then it's never going to change. I was watching a Candace Owens video, and she's in the airport, and this white lady is in this cop's face, and she stands up and she says, you can't act like this. This is ridiculous. You are being disrespectful. You need to back off. He told you need to show him his driver's or whatever it was the problem. And she turned, and the whole interaction was ridiculous. The point of the story is someone had to stand up and say, you are acting wrong. And when we are in these social places and we see people who are doing, you see these Karens or whatever we want to call them now, or people who are just like, if instead of pulling out our cell phones and recording them and then posting it and snickering about it later on the internet, if somebody was like, hey, you sound really unintelligent right this second. You really need to step back and think about what you're doing and maybe go for a walk. Grow up a little bit. Think about how your actions are being portrayed or whatever. Think about your actions, the consequences of your actions, and chill out. Like, we need to stand up. You see shoplifters, you see people stealing stuff, and people are just standing there recording it like, oh my God, you see what I'm seeing? No, you tell them to stop. What the hell are you doing? Put it back. You're retarded. I can't wrap my brain around it. It baffles me how we can just step back and be like, oh, it's okay for people to do bad things over there. We'll just look the other way. Like, it's frustrating. And it's time. Like, this moment in astrologicalness is really calling on you to be wiser than that, to be smarter than that, to step up and stand up and do the right thing by yourself, your community, your neighbor, your world, and just do the right thing. And the final question is, am I stepping out of bad habits or am I falling back into them? Because it's really easy to step back into our bad habits. So overall, this is a highly reflective time, asking the hard questions, and the answers are there. They are right in your face. If you're not seeing them, it's because you don't want to, and you just need to open your eyes and be like, bam, there's the answer. We are being strongly encouraged to open our eyes and see all the truth that there is, not just one little piece, but from that higher perspective and from that deep understanding, we are being asked to see these truths. And know that in order to heal, we must take accountability for our own thoughts and actions and feelings. You can't continuously say somebody else did this, somebody else did that, somebody else makes me. No. You are the only person in control of your actions. Now, you might have reacted to them in a way that wasn't right or that didn't make you feel better or whatnot. Or maybe they reacted to you in a way, and there is interactions, but that does not dictate how you have to feel. You are the only person in control of the way that you feel. How do you want to feel? You have to take your own authority and knowing that the just and noble path will lead to great success. And sometimes taking that higher road isn't easy. Also helping us to see that we have to step away from the mob mentality and allow the divine love to flow freely, giving you everything you need to take the inner authority and act from a state of higher being. Like I said, there's a lot going on. This video is now almost an hour long. Anyways, these are just, there's so much going on right now, and it's so important for us to step up and do the right thing and know who we are and move forward with that. And this is a really reflective time for you to ask those questions to heal. A lot of times we ask these questions and we just ask them. But now it's time to heal from them. And we are receiving the divine love, the divine intuition, the insight, the higher perspective, the deeper understanding, the truth in all things, from all angles. And so take a deep breath and step into that reflective pond and really allow it to encompass that change into every part of your being. This might feel like you're standing on a cliff and you're looking over the cliff and you're kind of like, oh my goodness, oh my goodness, oh my goodness, and you're doing your double check and you're like, oh, is everything okay? I got my parachute or my wings or however you're jumping off this cliff. Like, do I have all of the things that I need? And the gods, the energies, the planetary, world, universal, whatever you want to call it, are like trying to help you strip away the things that you don't need so that you can not only jump off this cliff, but you can fly off this cliff. And we have to strip down those things that we don't need. We have to let go of this, whatever it is that's holding you back, and step forward and allow those changes to happen so that you can fly off this ledge, so that you can step out into this new beginning and really be this better person, be this amazing self that you can be. So, with all of that said, I feel like this is a really heavy video. There's just a lot going on, and it is really important for us all to heal and to step forward and do the right thing by yourself, your community, your family, and your neighbor. And that's what I can put. That's what I'm putting on the table. I really you need to step up. You need to step up for yourself. You need to take your own inner authority, take responsibility for your own feelings, do what you need to do in order to heal, because it is available for you. And you are the only person who is going to put you first. So take that, do that, and heal. So as always, if you have any questions, let me know. Comments, concerns, all of that stuff. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And I hope that everybody has a blessed dark moon and that you really find the healing that you are entitled to and that is there for you and is available. It's there. So just take that heal, take it and do it. Shake loose all those things you don't need and step forward and allow yourself to heal. So many blessings, and I hope that you have a beautiful dark moon.